Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kaylee and these are my books. So today's video is very exciting because I'm starting a brand new series on my channel where I read other booktubers' favorite books. Today I am starting the series with Rachel from RavenHairedReader. I recently discovered her channel maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I absolutely love the content that she produces, and she is a fantasy romance girly like I am. So I wanted to start with her for 2 reasons. One, I was in the mood to read some fantasy romance, and I know at least one of her favorites would be some fantasy romance. And 2, I wanted an excuse to do a deep dive throughout all of her content that I missed from not knowing about her channel and figure out what her favorite books are from watching all of her videos. If you are not already following Rachel, you definitely need to be. She is one of my favorite booktubers out there, and so I'm going to link her channel down below in the description and go check out her videos because they are fabulous. So from watching her videos, I realized we do have a lot of overlap. We both love Sarah J. Maas, especially Crescent City series. We both like Pestilence, we both like the Plated Prisoner series, so there's a lot of fantasy romance overlap. But I quickly realized Rachel is a much more diverse reader than just reading fantasy romance. She also likes a lot more literary fiction books, such as A Dowry of Blood, or Normal People, and Magnolia Parks. And those books are definitely out of my comfort zone. I don't typically read literary fiction. I very much stay within the more genre fiction, whether that's romance and subgenres within romance or fantasy and subgenres within fantasy. But anything that's deemed literary is kind of an anti-buzzword for me. Therefore, for Rachel's favorite books, the books that I am deeming her favorites, I didn't DM her and ask her for her favorite books. I thought it would be more fun for me to just go through all of her videos and just kind of pick from her videos of the 5 stars that she gives out. I am reading 2 books that are more in my comfort zone of within romance, and then 2 books that are outside of my comfort zone that are more in the literary fiction side. So the 2 books that I will be reading that are in my comfort zone is Twisted Hate by Anna Huang and The Song of the Marked. I don't remember the author for The Song of the Marked, but it's up on the screen somewhere so you can see who the author is there. And then the books that are outside of my comfort zone. I did want to choose 2 literary books because Rachel loves a good literary fiction. First of which I am pretty excited about still nervous, but excited about, and it's A Secret History. And then the book that I am the most afraid of is Normal People. This book is so divisive, even on Goodreads. If you just scroll down, I think all the top reviews are either 5 stars or 1 star. But Rachel loves it, and I want to love the books that Rachel loves, so I'm giving it a shot. I'm going in with an open mind. I also have the audiobook for this one, so I think that will help me out a lot too. But before we jump into the reading updates, if you haven't already, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content. I will be putting out 1 new video in this series where I read a different booktuber's favorite books every single month, and every month will be a new booktuber featured. If you have any booktubers that you would like me to read their favorites from, go ahead and leave me a comment with suggestions down below. But anyways, let's jump into me reading these books. Hi, I am in the same clothes as I was just in the intro because this is the same day, but it's a little bit later. I wanted to let you know that I started Normal People today while I was walking my dog and getting ready and doing other cooking related things. And I am shocked, absolutely shocked at how much I'm liking it so far. I'm 30% in, so that's a good amount of the way through this book, you know. I've read a third of this book so far, and I am loving it. The characters feel so real. Like everything they've done feels like something that real people would do. And I know that sounds like dumb to say, right? But that often is not the case for me in books that I read. Oftentimes, characters feel like characters, and it takes a lot for me to think of them as real people. And I'm thinking about these 2 characters as real people. I think what's also working for me is the school setting. So I'm sure we'll move beyond school at some point, but right now we've seen their high school phase and now they're in college. And I love school settings in books. That's one of my favorite things to read about. And I think school settings are so fun because they give me political fantasy vibes. And I know that's a crazy thing to say, right? Like, what the heck are you talking about? Hear me out. So school settings have a lot of politics, social politics going on that aren't in it, that don't happen outside of school settings as much. And inside a book that's set in a school setting, we have all these different groups of people in power and out of power, and the restrictions that they feel with the power that they have or might not have. And that's what's going on in this book too. And that's what the focus of political fantasy is too, the complicated social dynamics. And I love political fantasy, and so I love these complicated social dynamics that are going on between this couple and between the wider school that they're in. And I know complicated social dynamics are not something unique to political fantasy, but I usually associate it with political fantasy just because that is the forefront of that genre. That is the main source of conflict in political fantasy. And that's what's going on in this book too. The main source of conflict in the book that we're reading is due to these social politics. So I'm having a great time. I'm really, really connecting with these characters. I care so much about them, even though they're not like necessarily great people. I mean, the girl is pretty good. The guy is a little problematic at times, a lot problematic at times, but I still care about both of them and I need to know what's going on in their life. So I, so far, am so glad I did this video because I would have never in a million years picked up this book, and so far it feels like 5-star material. Hello and good morning. So it is day 2 of me doing this reading vlog for Reading Rachel's Favorites, and I wanted to update everyone that I started The Song of the Marked, which is the fantasy romance book, and I am, let's see exactly how far I am. I'm on page 63 out of 566, so it is quite a long book. Teddy, don't be licking yourself on camera. That's gross. Come on, you gotta be good. So it is quite a long book, but it's reading really quickly and I'm so into it. Like, I am having the best time reading this book. I just want to sit down here and read all day, which is likely what I'm going to do because I got some bad news this morning that I tested positive for COVID again after only 5 days of testing negative. I took that Paxlovid pill and there's like a very small % chance that you can get COVID like right after testing negative for your last round of COVID. The president, I think that happened to him and it happened to me, so at least I'm presidential. But yeah, so I am just going to be reading pretty much all day today. I think I still want to film some videos. My throat kind of hurts, but not bad enough where I don't want to be talking. I can talk fine. So I will update you as I continue on reading this book. I'm still loving Normal People. I'm really enjoying The Song of the Marked. So far, this vlog is going amazingly. Hi, I'm back because I realized I forgot to give a synopsis of The Song of the Marked. So basically, this is set in a world, like a kingdom type of world, where there are kings. This king is kind of an emperor. He rules over these 12 different areas that used to be separate kingdoms, but now there's just one ruler, and the whole area is being ravaged by this plague that's spreading across the land. And no one survives this plague. Everyone pretty much dies if you get the plague, except for our main character. She is touched by the plague. I forget what it's called, but she has a special name for that. And basically all of her features have turned grayish. Like, her hair used to be auburn and now it's gray. Her eyes used to be brown, I think, and now they're grayish too. So she stands out. And it's very rare to be like her because a while back, the king emperor kind of rounded up all the people that had survived the plague and they've never been seen since. So she's in hiding, sort of, and she's also working with a group of other people that are kind of like spies for hire. And she works for this lord, and she's spying for this lord, trying to figure out what the king is up to in this area of land that's all foggy and magical and difficult to enter. And I believe the rest of the story is going to follow, hello Teddy, is going to follow her teaming up with the king's commander of the guard, according to the synopsis of the book. That hasn't happened yet. But I think she teams up with the king's commander of the guard to kind of investigate some weird magical phenomenons that are going on. I think she gets recommended by the lord that she works for. And I believe that's the love interest, and they have an enemies to lovers relationship in this story. So it feels like a bit like maybe a chosen one trope, because she's the only one that has survived this plague that is still alive right now, or at least that's, oh gosh, sorry, Teddy knocked my arm. At least that is, oh God, Teddy, stop knocking my arm, jeez. He really wants me to pet him right now. What was I saying? She's like the only one left that has survived the plague, pretty much, right? So it's a bit of a chosen one trope because she's able to have more resistance to magic than some other people are. And, oh my gosh, he really wants to play right now. But I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it right now, but I'm gonna let you go because Teddy is demanding my attention. Hello, I'm checking in from my bedroom because the dishwasher is going right now and my dishwasher is insanely loud. I'm sorry if you can still hear it. I'm standing like literally in the corner trying to stand as physically far away from the dishwasher as possible. But I just wanted to check in because I am 60% of the way through the audiobook of Normal People and I'm still really enjoying it. So we're kind of out of the school setting. I mean, I think they're still in college, but the school setting has become less important and I was worried I would start to like the book less as the school setting became less important, but I'm still really enjoying the book. Now, I will say I'm not sure if this is going to be a 5-star simply because I don't know why, but I'm not like I don't think this book is gonna make me cry, you know? Like maybe it will, we might be surprised, but I really care about these characters and I really care about their lives and what's going on, but I'm kind of listening with a straight face, you know, so we'll see. But it could still be a 5-star. It's definitely not lower than a 4-star right now, which is crazy. Like, this book should not work for me. It doesn't really have a plot. There's tons of time jumps. I usually hate time jumps in books, but this, you know, we'll get a scene and then it'll be like 3 months later. And I'm loving the time jumps in this book. I'm loving the characters in this book. And I care about them. I really really care about them. So I'm entertained by the story because I need to know what's going on with these people. I'm really enjoying it. I don't know what else to say. I'm enjoying it. I shouldn't be enjoying it. I don't know why I'm enjoying it, but I'm enjoying it. I also wanted to check in this corner and let you know that while I've been listening to the audiobook, you know, I've also been reading the ebook for The Song of the Marked, and not at the same time, just like the audiobook is being listened to while I clean and walk my dog and the ebook is being read while I'm sitting on the couch. And I'm loving The Song of the Marked. I'm loving it still. I think I'm like 55% of the way through, so I'm gonna finish it up today. And it's so good. So this is one of those fantasy romances that's like fantasy all capitalized with romance kind of lowercase next to it. Similar to the Plated Prisoner series. I think it's gonna have more romance than the Plated Prisoner series just because I think the characters are gonna get together in this first book. I actually don't know, we'll see. But you know, I'm like 55% of the way through and we've had like lots of banter, but that's pretty much all we've had so far, just lots of banter. And it's delicious. The slow burn is delicious. The banter is delicious. And I really care about the fantasy world too. This is really working for me not only as a romance, but as just a general fantasy book. The world is so cool. There's gods happening. The magic is really interesting. The characters are all three-dimensional in my opinion. Like, we don't have any like mustache twirling villains in this story so far. Like, I don't know who's bad, who's good. Everyone seems to be hiding stuff. I just want to find out what's happening. The plot is working for me. The characters are working for me. The romance is working for me. The world building is working for me. This is just a 5 out of 5-star read so far. But, you know, I still have like half the book left to read, so I'll check back in later. I just read a part in The Song of the Marked of the two characters talking about anxiety, and it made me tear up a little. You could kind of see my eyes are like glassy. Oh, it was so sweet and so good. I love this book. Sorry, my voice is so annoying right now. I'm like squealing and kind of crying. It's such a silly scene to cry about, but it was so relatable and so cute. I love it. Everyone should read this book. I mean, I still have a lot to go, so hopefully it doesn't go downhill, but I love it. I love it. Okay, bye. I just finished Normal People. I didn't cry, but man, sorry, I'm trying to like get my thoughts together. I really really liked it. I don't know why I didn't cry. Maybe I'm dehydrated. I feel like it's one of those books where I just finish it and now I'm just sitting here. I finished it like 5 minutes ago and I've just been sitting here being like, wow. Like, wow. Oh, it was so good. And I don't know why it was so good. Like, it didn't even have like that satisfying of an ending. It was satisfying, but like it wasn't like anything crazy happened at the end. I don't know, man. I don't know why that worked for me, but it worked for me. I was literally listening to the last hour of it. The whole last hour, like, well, actually it was more than an hour, but like the last hour for me listening to it on double speed, just under my blanket. I'm like on my bed right now. And I was just listening to it completely under the blanket in the dark because I wanted no other outside stimulation. I just wanted the book to like be like the full thing in my mind. I don't even know if I would recommend this book to other people because I'm like, I should have hated this book, but I loved it. And I don't know why I loved it. And now I feel like I'm going through this whole crisis of what kind of reader am I? And what kind of things I don't like, because obviously I was wrong. I loved this. It felt like more than a book that I just went through. It feels like I just went through like a major life experience. Like the book wasn't that fun. It wasn't like a fun book to read. I guess the best way I could describe it is I feel like I went through a big journey with these people. Like, I feel like I've just lived 20 years. I've aged by 20 years. I'm being ridiculous right now. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be so dramatic. I just don't know what to say because, like, nothing about this book should have worked for me, but it worked for me. So, thanks so much to Rachel for loving this book. And I'm so glad I read this book because, like I said, I literally would have never picked this up. I was avoiding this book like the plague. And now I have 20 years worth of life experience gained from this book. So I would say give this book a try, even if it doesn't sound that good to you. The audiobook really helped. I don't know if it would have like kept my interest if I was reading it physically, because the audiobook, it just felt like I you know, like I said, I was in the dark, fully immersed, and it felt like I was like there. It felt like I was these characters. Like I cared so much about these characters. And I think I said this earlier, the characters just feel like real people. It doesn't feel like you're reading a book. It feels like you're experiencing all this with them. So I'm exhausted from reading this book. I'm exhausted. And I'm gonna go back to The Song of the Marked right now for some nice fantasy romance. I'm also loving that one. It's just that one is less exhausting because it's a bit more fun. And I think it's a good one to pick up after this. But I think before I pick that up, I'm just gonna sit here for another couple minutes and stare at my blank wall and just think about life for a bit. Hello, wanted to film a check-in. I am been reading on sprints pretty much all day. Right now I'm on Katrina sprints with Lexi and Michelle. But earlier I was on Sarah's sprints, and I also ended up watching a movie on Riley's Patreon today. So it's been a big social day on YouTube stuff. But it's also been a big day because I not only finished Normal People today, I gave that 5 stars as you saw, but I also just finished The Song of the Marked. And guess what? We are at back-to-back 5 stars. Back-to-back 5 stars. Oh my goodness. So I'm not someone who like barely gives out 5 stars, but I'm also not someone who always gives out 5 stars. You know, like last month I read 35 books and only gave out 3 5 stars total. So the fact that I just read back-to-back 5 stars for a vlog where some of the books are outside of my comfort zone, like, oh, I love that I did this vlog. I don't even care if people care about it at this point because I am loving it. But The Song of the Marked was so good. The ending, oh, I don't know. I did not see that ending coming, like, at all, which is crazy. Like, maybe I should have, but I just wasn't thinking critically because, you know, in thrillers, like, you know there's going to be a twist ending. So you're reading the whole time trying to figure out what the twist is going to be. But in this book, it was a fantasy romance. I wasn't reading trying to figure out what a twist is going to be. And so the twist came and it took me completely by surprise, and I'm so invested. I like joined the author's Facebook group, which I really don't do because I don't really use Facebook. But I went on my Facebook and joined her Facebook group because that was at the end of the book. It talked about her Facebook group. So I'm just like, I am such a fan of this author now. I need to read the next book in the series. I'm not going to jump straight into it because I need to keep reading other books for this vlog. But oh my God, it was so good. It was like such a good fantasy book. And then the romance in it was so good too. And like, it wasn't just a fantasy romance. It was like a fantasy book and it was a fantasy romance book. Like, it belongs in both of those genres. I had such a fun time with it. Such a good time. And so now I'm going to be starting the audiobook of The Secret History and the ebook of Twisted Games. I'm very excited about both of these books too. I'm going to start the audiobook right now because I'm about to cook some dinner. And I'm hoping that these next two books go just as well as the first two. Could you imagine if I had 4 5-star books in this video? Could you imagine? I am manifesting that right now. All right, I will check in after I've read a bit more of The Secret History or Twisted Games. We'll see. Hey, I'm checking back in like almost immediately because I just downloaded the audiobook for Secret History, and that book is 22 hours. It's a 22-hour audiobook. What have I gotten myself into? I'm trying to finish both these books tomorrow. How am I going to listen to a 22-hour audiobook? Like, on double speed, that's 11 hours. On triple speed, that's still a lot of hours. We're going to give it a go, but I am a little worried. And this video might be going out later than anticipated. Sorry, I know my AC is on right now, so the sound sucks, but I just wanted to quickly mention that I'm listening to The Secret History with a glass of red wine while cooking myself a fancy deep dinner. For me, I live alone, so I don't always cook myself like very elaborate dinners, but tonight I'm cooking myself some garlic butter fish with some couscous and some roasted asparagus, and I am feeling myself. I feel like I'm living all the pretentious vibes, you know, like Secret History while sipping red wine is such a fun evening. I'm having a great time so far. I'm only like, I think like 40 minutes into the book because I'm listening to it on 2.5 speed right now, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm here for the vibes, and I just wanted to let you know I'm having a good time. Hello, I wanted to check in. It is the next morning, and I read a bit more of The Secret History and Twisted Hate. I woke up and I'm not feeling great today. I do still have COVID. I tested myself. I'm still positive and I'm not feeling fantastic. So I don't know for sure how much reading I'll get done because I kind of just want to sleep today. But I've still been listening a bit more. And so A Secret History. I'm not enjoying it. God, I look like a disaster. Cut me some slack, okay? I have COVID, I'm sick, and I just woke up. But Secret History, I'm 20% in, so I think that's about 5 hours of this audiobook, good amount of the way in, and I just don't care. And I'm not hating it. Nothing in the book is offensive. I'm just feeling entirely indifferent to the story right now. I was liking it at the beginning, and then it kind of lost me somewhere. I'm gonna keep listening to it. I'm not quite ready to DNF, but we are getting closer to the DNF category right now. So I'm gonna give it another like couple hours, not of listening time, but I mean couple hours of audiobook time. I'm listening to it on 2.5. I might up it to 3 just to give it more of a chance to like grip me. But if it doesn't, we might be approaching DNF category. And then Twisted Hate, I am really enjoying. I think I'm about 75 pages into the book right now. It's another chunky book. I did not realize so many of the books I'm reading for this vlog are so long. Twisted Hate is 520 pages, I think. And so it is really, really good so far. This is an enemies to lovers situation. It also seems like there's a little bit of workplace romance going on, and it has the trope of there's only one bed, which is happening currently in the book, and I'm really enjoying it. I love the Twisted series. I don't know if this is gonna top book 2 because book 2 was like god tier for me. Not only was it 5 stars, but it's a new favorite romance that I've ever read. But this book, I'm enjoying it a ton, so it could still be a 5-star read. I just mean it's not not giving me the same feels that book 2 gave me. But book 2 is like literally like top 5 romances I've ever read. So I just want to make it clear I'm still very much enjoying book 3. Hello, Teddy. It's the next day. I know I only checked in once yesterday morning. Well, I ended up getting kind of sick yesterday. I have COVID right now. I haven't really felt many symptoms, but yesterday I was feeling the symptoms. Nothing terrible. I was just really tired and basically spent the whole day in bed and didn't really read at all. So hello, it is the next day now. We are officially one day late with this vlog, but that's okay. Teddy and I are just chilling out on the couch right now. And I did want to update that I have officially decided to DNF A Secret History. I made it to about 33% of the way through, which is a good amount. You know, I think it's around like 170, maybe 200 pages. Oh my gosh. Something like that. So I gave it a good shot. I just didn't care. There was nothing that was like making me angry or hating the book. I was just indifferent. And for a book that long, to be indifferent is to mean I will DNF. It's a book where the plot is quite slow moving, and much like Normal People, there isn't much of a plot. However, unlike Normal People, sorry, there's like a little shark down here. Wow. Unlike Normal People, I didn't care about the characters. Now, to be clear, A Secret History has much more of a plot than Normal People does. It's just the plot wasn't enough to make up for the fact that I didn't care at all about any of these people. I will say the vibes were there. Oh, here's the shark. The vibes were there. It's just the atmosphere was there. The vibes were there. It's just the characters and the plot were not there for me. And so it didn't work. I could see why some people love this book though, because the atmosphere was quite cool. I mean, you saw me at the beginning of when I first started the book. I was like feeling myself with leaning into that fancy atmosphere. But anyways, I wanted to just let you know I DNF'd it. Unfortunately, this is not a new favorite, but we already have 2 5-star reads in this vlog, so I don't feel that bad about DNFing A Secret History. I am about halfway through Twisted Hate right now. I will be finishing that up shortly, and I'm really enjoying Twisted Hate. They're so cute, the characters, and they really hate each other. In a lot of enemies to lovers romance, I feel like they don't start out as true enemies, but in this book, like they straight up dislike each other and they're quite cruel to each other in the beginning. So just as a heads up, you know, this isn't one of those light, like hate to love type of romances, like they straight up hate each other. The banter is immaculate though. I love the banter, and man, Anna Huang is just, she's a queen. We love Anna Huang. Her Twisted Games was so good. Let me amend that. I liked Twisted Love, Twisted Games, so good, Twisted Hate, so good. So I will check in as I am finishing up Twisted Hate, but a 3-hit video is pretty good. 3 of these books I think I'm gonna love. Oh my god, these nails. I need to paint them. Oh god. Okay. I'll see you later, bye. So I'm 70% of the way through Twisted Hate, and it's so good, it's so good. It's giving me all the warm, fuzzy feelings, and I keep like smiling as I'm reading it, because it's like, it's so good. These books are perfect because they're definitely focused on the romance. Oh my gosh, we have some mascara. I wasn't crying, that was just, maybe I was crying, who knows. But anyways, it does focus on the romance, right? So I don't want to like misrepresent this book. This definitely is like full on a romance book. The romance is the main part of the plot. However, this book, while still having lots of spice, also has quite like, it's an involved plot. Like there's crazy things happening in this plot in all of her books. If you've read any of the Twisted series, you know that the plot doesn't get left behind. The plot is interesting. Like I want to know what happens in the plot that's outside of the romance. And there's also just a lot of really wholesome moments of, you know, like friendships reconnecting and like found family tropes. And it's just so freaking good. I'm having such a good time with it. So I think the next time I check in, we'll probably, maybe I'll do a slight check-in, casual one once I first finish it, but then we'll do the wrap up at the end. But I just wanted to update you one more time and just be like, I'm still loving it so much. I don't know where the plot is going in a good way. Like, it's unpredictable. I don't know. There's always like mysteries happening in her plots, and there's always big reveals at the end where it gives me similar feelings as like reading a mystery book or a thriller book, where the reveals are so satisfying too, along with the romance, because romance books are predictable, right? We know they're gonna get together at the end, but these romance books, while we know that the characters are gonna get together, it's unpredictable in like the plot itself and like what's going to happen to all of these other characters. It's so good. You should pick up the Twisted series, okay? Okay, bye. You can't tell, but I teared up. I promise, I teared up. I did not expect Twisted Hate to be the book that made me cry, but 5 stars. 5 stars. I still like Twisted Games more, but Twisted Hate is also a favorite. So it's like trying to rank my children, you know? I'll do it, but it's hard. Oh, it's so good. It was so good, and the ending was so satisfying, and it had one of those things where like, and this doesn't spoil anything because you know right from the beginning, you know, it's like a almost forbidden relationship, like they hate each other, right? That's the whole premise. And they're mutuals in their friend group. So the reveals of like the friends, them telling the friends that they're together was so satisfying. It was so nice. I'm gonna check in with a final clip where I'm talking about all the books, and I just wanted to update you. I just finished it. It was so freaking good. 3 5 stars in this video. 3! Hello and welcome to the end of the vlog. I cannot believe how successful this vlog was. I mean, last month I had 3 5 stars total. Of all the books, I had 3 5 stars total. And just in this like 3 or 4 day span of reading for this vlog, I had 3 5 stars. 3 5 stars in 3 days. Like, what? I am so happy I read these books. I'm so happy I did this vlog. I'm so happy I chose Rachel to focus on as my first booktuber, because clearly we have a lot of overlapping tastes. I mean, it was, like these books, I can't even coherently talk about them because like 3 of them are new favorites. Not only are they 5 stars, but they're new favorites. Normal People. Wow, I'm still thinking about Normal People. I will be thinking about those characters until the day that I die. I already want to buy a physical copy and read it physically because I only listen to it, and I need to read it physically to like figure out what quotes I want to like remember for the rest of my life. Like, oh my god. And then The Song of the Marked, I need to read the rest of the books in that fantasy series. New favorite fantasy series. The romance, immaculate. The plot, so good. The reveals, amazing. The magic's so cool. The main character, I love her. So freaking good. And then Twisted Hate, I thought nothing could even come close to Twisted Games. A princess bodyguard romance, but then Twisted Hate being enemies to lovers and like brother's best friend, or no, best friend's brother, sorry, best friend's brother, and just like the plot and the illegal stuff that was happening and the character like connection moments and the wholesome moments and them, it was so good. 5 stars. Jules and Josh are in my heart. And so obviously we had one flop of this video, A Secret History, DNF. I don't even feel bad about DNFing that book because I got those 3 new favorites. So Secret History, bit of a flop for me, but the other books, so good. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm very like enthusiastic right now because I can't believe I just found 3 new favorite books. I am going to be continuing the series with 1 new installment every month. So if you liked this video, please remember to like the video and subscribe since I will be continuing on with the series. And let me know down in the comments what booktubers favorites I should read next. But anyways, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!